Hi there, business owner, and welcome to the 3Bs podcast, the place where we go beyond the numbers and dive into strategies to help you build a better business one step at a time. I'm your host, Stephanie, a multi-award-winning entrepreneur with over a decade of experience in the bookkeeping and accountancy world. If you're a business owner looking to streamline, grow, and get back the time that you deserve, you're in the right place. We're tackling real-world problems, answering tough questions, and digging deep into business building secrets in just 15 minutes each week. So are you ready to build a better business with confidence and clarity? Then let's go. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the 3Bs podcast, your go-to place for 15 minutes of motivation, education and inspiration each week. As always, I'm your host Stephanie Marshall, straight talking bookkeeper, multi-award winning CEO and business wingwoman for those who are doing it their own way. This episode is one of my favourites. It's all about business expenses. The legit ones, the questionable ones, and the ones that will raise a red flag with HMRC faster than you can say client lunch, anyone. Because too many business owners either don't claim enough, claim too much, or randomly claim stuff they've been told is definitely fine by their mate down the pub, or they've seen it on Facebook. Now, let's fix that. This was one of the most popular episodes to date that I have done, and I think it was episode 2 back in the day, a couple of years ago. So it's time to revamp it. Let's go through the things that friends and family have asked me, the things that clients have asked me throughout the years, and the things that are becoming more common because the rules change all the time. So let's go through some more. So what actually counts as a business expense? Let's start with the golden rule. An expense must be wholly and exclusively for business purposes. That's the HMRC's wording, not mine, and they absolutely mean it. It doesn't have to be essential, but it does have to be solely for your business. So if you think of things like your website hosting, your business insurance, marketing tools, software only used for business purposes, business travel to and from business events only, professional fees like accountants, bookkeepers, lawyers, and training directly related to your current trade. This one tends to get sticky because if you are enhancing a skill you already have, training is tax deductible. If you are training for a new trade or skill that's not directly related to your current industry or trade, they are not tax deductible, and it catches out so many business owners who see all these social media gurus online who buy this thing and buy that course and buy that membership. So that have nothing to do with what they're doing as a business owner because they may want to launch a second arm or they want to go and start a new business. If it's not related to their current trade, it's not tax deductible. And the cost of it just gets added back in and you're taxed on it at year end. So all of the things that are wholly and exclusively for your business are fine. But as the age-old saying goes, when you mix business and pleasure, or in this case, when you mix business and personal expenses, things start to get a little murky. So let's go through this in further detail. I caveat this by saying every business is unique, and what one business may claim and is tax deductible and acceptable may not be for another. Remember that every business is unique, it's all run slightly differently. Even if we've got 4 hairdressers, they will all have slightly different costs that are acceptable and that are not. So here are some common things that I usually find, but again, speak to an expert who understands your business or can understand your business to help you work out what if these are still fine for you. Number 1 is home office costs. If you work from home, you can claim a portion of your bills or use HMRC's flat rate of £6 a week. If you go claiming 80% of your rent, you're going to get an inquiry. Let's be honest, that's going to flag hugely with the HMRC and we don't want that. So we only claim a portion of our bills or HMRC's flat rate of £6 per week. Travel and subsistence. So when I say travel and subsistence, think train fares, mileage using the official HMRC's rates, food on an overnight business trip. Your morning Starbucks, if you just go into your usual workplace, is not going to cut it and you cannot claim for that. Software and subscriptions, so Canva, Xero, Adobe, MailChimp. If you use it for work, you can usually claim it. If you use it for personal, it's not. So any subscription to a fitness classes online portal, if you don't run a fitness business, is not acceptable. And professional development. This is where it has to be related to your current business, not something you might do in future. If you're a yoga teacher and you start going to get a course on how to do interior design, that's not going to be tax deductible because it's not your current business. Bank fees, interest on business loans, they are also usually absolutely fine in your business, assuming that there's a business bank account that your bank fees are being claimed from and that the interest is on a business loan. And then you've got your bigger things like your equipment. If you're buying a phone or a laptop purely for business use, then that's absolutely fine. Printers, scanners, those sorts of things are usually fine too. But here's where it gets tricky. So these are expenses that would usually get you questioned that I want to try and clarify as best as possible. But again, your unique business is your unique business, and do seek advice on this. Clothing is a big one. So uniforms or branded gear are absolutely fine. If you go out and buy a nice suit because you only wear them for work, if they're not branded or part of a strict uniform, they're not going to be acceptable. That dress you buy for that awards evening is not going to be tax deductible unless it's only for that awards and is branded or is a strict uniform you have to wear. Things like safety boots, high vis, perfectly fine because you are a part of a uniform and it needs to be worn to keep you safe at work. Meals and entertainment, this one is tricky and is always a red flag. You can't claim a client lunch if it's part of a business meeting, not your Friday night takeaway because you were working late or the coffee you got on your way into work. Alcohol is also not tax deductible if you are out for your client lunch, so don't go buying yourself a pint or a glass of wine. Training for a new trade, HMRC doesn't let you claim training that prepares you for a new business or career, and it's worth noting when you do start looking at these courses online or these things that the gurus are selling nowadays online. If it's not part of your current trade, then it's not going to be tax deductible. Home improvements, renovating your spare room into an office, like it feels businessy, but unless you're going to use it exclusively for work, you need to be careful. And if you're a limited company and you use it exclusively for work, if you then move house and sell your house and then in effect sell the office, you've got capital gains tax and other complicated tax implications that might hit you where it hurts. Family members on payroll. This one is, I get a lot of, oh, can I put my wife on? Or can I put my kids on the payroll? Totally illegal if they're genuinely working and you're paying them a fair rate. So you can't go paying your wife £750 an hour for basic admin tasks. You can't go and put your wife on the payroll for 16 hours a week just because. They need to be working in the business, actually getting paid as you would pay any other employee. And these are the expenses that HMRC might go, and you're likely to get flagged. First class flights. There is no reason why you shouldn't be flying affordably. If you're getting first class flights on the business, they're going to wonder why. Spa days are often seen as client wellness meetings. That's not acceptable. HMRC are going to question. Birthday meals, when you class them as marketing, again, they, in very unique circumstances, yes, but most of the time, that's going to get you flagged. If you're putting in 100% of your home energy bills, your gas, your electric, your water, again, it's not tax deductible, and if HMRC see it, you're likely to get an investigation. And paying yourself cash and calling it admin fees. If you're paying yourself calling it an admin fee, you're going to get flagged. If you're paying yourself, it needs to be either a wage or a dividend if you're a limited company. Again, speak to an expert about that. A payroll expert would be great. Basically, if it sounds dodgy and you're like, can I sway it? It probably is. And even if it gets through once, a future investigation can go back 7 years, sometimes even further, and you could still be caught out. So it's definitely not worth the risk as a business owner. The HMRC care about not just what you claim, but how you track what you are claiming as a business owner. The HMRC want to see proper receipts and invoices, proof of payment, a clear business purpose, and no overlap with personal use unless proportioned out properly. This is where things using software like Xero, FreeAgent, or QuickBooks to track your expenditure, and then using tools like Dext or Apron to capture your receipts makes this 1,000 times easier. And if you're doing it all with paper and guesswork, now is the time to upgrade. If you are a sole trader, there has never been a better time to start digitizing before Make Digital comes into force next April. So my advice here, if you're ever unsure about an expense, ask yourself, would I feel confident justifying this in a HMRC investigation or audit? Do I have a receipt? And is it clearly linked to my business? If you can answer yes to all three, then you're probably safe. If you can't answer yes to all three, speak to your bookkeeper or don't claim it. We've helped clients reduce their tax bills just by claiming what they're actually entitled to when they've missed things out. But we've also stopped people making claims that would have got them into a lot of trouble and, worst case scenario, jail. I don't say that to scare you. This is really important. If you're looking to build a better business, which I presume you are by watching or listening to this podcast, it's important to take it seriously and not just use it as an extra account. This is a business. See yourself as Tesco is one of my favourites. Think of yourself as a big business. In Tesco, they wouldn't try and put a TV through when they don't even have an office, for example. So let's wrap this up with claim what you're entitled to. Don't overclaim and risk an inquiry. Keep your records clean. Make sure you have everything that you need and ask for help if you're not sure. Business expenses aren't there to be exploited, but they're also not to be ignored. If you do it right, they can reduce your tax bill efficiently and keep your finances accurate. If you want a review of what you're claiming or a strategy call to get it all clear, head to abcsuk.com and book a discovery call because we just make it simple. Next week, I want to talk to you about tax bills and how to stop panicking every January when that tax season comes around. If this episode's been helpful for you, please do forward it to a business owner friend. Like, rate and review, subscribe to whichever podcast platform you're watching or listening to, and I will see you next week for the next episode of the 3Bs podcast. Bye. And that brings us to the end of another episode of the 3Bs podcast. I hope you found it useful and that you're walking away with some motivation, inspiration, or education to help you build a better business. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and of course connect with us on social media for more insights, tips, and behind the scenes content. Your next step in building a better business is just a click away. I can't wait to connect with you, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.